ahead, Kyle. No, watch it, watch it. Watch it, watch it. All right, this is him. And this is across the street. No, this is there. Where is this at? January 9th. Where am I at? That's not Highland, though. I know I took a picture of Highland. Right here. This is his other property. That's what that is. That's 7th Street.
We're ready? Okay. Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Planning Commission meeting for July 9th, 2025. It is now 2:01. Roll call, please.
Susan Dennis.
Present.
Leola Williams.
Here.
Bertha Banks.
Present.
Annette Hyatt.
Here. Okay. Are there any public comments on items not on the agenda? Seeing none, I'm going to switch because we do not have the minutes for the June the 11th meeting, and we will defer that for the 8/13 meeting, which is August the 13th, 25. Okay, and now we can proceed to our old business. I'll turn this meeting over to Mr. Fritz.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. We have one item on the old business agenda. It's called the third review, but really the Planning Commission has reviewed this at a meeting twice. This is the second time. And this is 742 West Front Street. This is a project where the applicant proposes to consolidate 14 lots into one lot of 3.03 acres. And the applicant, who's actually in the midst of demolishing one of the larger buildings on the site, also proposes to construct a 57,695 square foot warehouse with a loading area, 7,000 square feet of office area, and parking on the eastern and western sides of the building. And there's going to be a total of 63 parking spaces, including 4 ADA spaces. Before I get into my letter, I just wanted to share with you and remind you that this project's in the LIC zoning district. You can see on the screen here by that red dot is where the project is located off West 2nd Street. I do have photos of the site if we want to refer to those during the meeting. Here's an image of Curlin looking south. Here's the front of the building that's currently being demolished. So this is looking southwest off West 2nd Street. Here's an image further west on West 2nd Street looking southeast towards the front of the building that's being demolished. And then here is the back of that larger building again that's currently being demolished from a vantage point off West Front Street. This is looking west or south. This is looking east or north. And then I just, for reference too, for the applicant as well, I've got the consolidation plan, the site plan, the current one, and then the current landscaping plan for reference if we need it. And I'll leave that one up for now. And what I'd like to do is, as we typically do, I'll go through my brief letter, and I'm just going to highlight a couple things, then we'll pass it to the applicant's engineer, and then Ron will get up, acting as the city engineer, and provide his comments. So you have a copy of my letter dated June 27th, which was a review of the third submission and a response letter from the applicant. Some of the things I'm just going to highlight really quickly in that letter are that there is an understanding with the applicant that they will submit a fee in lieu for the cost of 7 trees to the city of Chester to fund planting of trees on city-owned land elsewhere in the city. This is just because the amount of trees that are required could not be met on site, and the city is willing to coordinate with the applicant in taking that fee in lieu of the number of trees, which I think is a fair compromise. 3 other items I just wanted to highlight are that the fire marshal did review this third submission. They are fine with the proposal. They just wanted to make sure that the fire sprinkler system, including the supporting hydraulic calculations, are submitted as part of the building permit applications. And otherwise, they are okay with the access to the site for fire trucks, and which also includes the Knox box accommodations on the fencing around the site. So during an emergency, the fire department could get into the site. So that has been answered and responded to according to the fire marshal's office. Comment 4 in my letter is regarding the shade tree comments. Just for the record, the memo that was distributed had the wrong date on it. It was actually, should be dated 6/27/25. And in general, the Shade Tree Commission was receptive to the response from the applicant in replacing trees, tree species types, and the trees that were proposed along West Front Street, the species type especially. And they did comply with a request to plant trees on West Front Street where they could, at basically the corners of the property at the west and east sides. There's 3 trees proposed. And the Shade Tree Commission was fine with that proposal. And then lastly, comment 5. We just had a question that the applicant hopefully can clarify today. If for the sliding fence gates or the fence gates that are proposed on, I would say both sides of the rear side of the building, but especially the one on the west side, if when that is open, it's not going to block the exit that's on the back of the building. We just want to make sure there's no conflict there. Overall, we did feel from a planning and zoning department review and the zoning requirements that the applicant has met the things that we had asked them to do and through their response letter. And I'm happy to take any questions about my letter if you have any.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, hearing none, then we will ask for the applicant to come forward, state your name and your address. Thank you.
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Anthony Caponigro. I am with Kimley Horn and Associates, and my address is 320 West Germantown Pike in Plymouth Meeting, PA. So thanks, Paul, for that intro, and I can go through real quick. We do have 6 waivers associated with the application as well, and I can go through those, and then also at the same time kind of go back to the Ron's letter here from Colliers as it relates to the waiver request. But to clarify Paul's couple questions in this statement on the gates, I expect they will be cantilever. They're working with a manufacturer right now to specify those, and I'll make sure that they're part of a final land development plan that shows how those gates are going to function. But essentially, it will comply as far as clearances, not extending over to right-of-way off West Front Street specifically. All those are going into the current manufacturer specs. So I'll provide those to the city as soon as I have those in hand. Okay. The fee in lieu of for the trees, again, along West Front Street, we do have limited space there with the security gating and the right-of-way. And as you get along the frontage of West Second Street, we're also complying with a Delcor sewer easement there as well, and that kind of limits the ability to plant those trees, and why we ask for the fee in lieu of, which we appreciate the acceptance of that. So in regards to waivers, there are 6. The first one speaks to allowing the application to be reviewed as a preliminary and final land development and lot consolidation application in lieu of just a preliminary plan. The second waiver gets more into the technical aspects. So this has to do with projects or properties abutting streets shall widen, pave, and improve any abutting streets and provide additional right-of-way as needed to meet city standards. So you have abutting West Front Street and Curlin Street, really the topic of conversation on this, of this waiver. So on Curlin Street, the applicant will propose to mill and overlay West Curlin Street, the full width. And we would only be asking for a partial waiver from replacing the curbing on the opposite side of Curlin Street. So we'll do new curbing on Curlin Street's frontage and new mill and overlay for the full width of Curlin Street to improve Curlin Street to meet close to city standards. And then on West Front Street, we would propose to only put the curbing and the new sidewalk on our side of the property, and would continue requesting a waiver for a full repaving of West Front Street along that frontage.
Can you bring those pictures up? Can you bring those pictures up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this would be Curlin, yeah.
Yep.
So we would propose, and you can see the opposite side of the road, there is some limited curbing there. Some of it may be falling over. It's really existing. It's the opposite side of the road. We would look to just keep that curbing in place. We would put all new curbing along our frontage of Curlin Street, and then we would come through and mill and overlay Curlin Street full width along the entire length of property to Front Street. So it would be a new pavement spec along Curlin. So really the only waiver we would be asking for there is from replacing the existing concrete curbing on the opposite side of Curlin Street. And yeah, and this is Front Street here. It's really an access, limited access road, I guess. It's not fully, it's not wide enough for two-way traffic, et cetera. You also have the right-of-way of the railroad adjacent to us. Currently, the plan is to propose new curbing and install sidewalk. The sidewalk that's there will be ripped up and replaced with new sidewalk. And with that, the new curbing will stretch along the full property frontage as well. And then we would just propose to leave the existing conditions of West Front Street as is until a future plan may come along to improve West Front Street if there is one. But for now, we're not looking to repave or reconstruct West Front Street as part of this project. So that would be waiver 1. As it relates to Yorick Street, that is another previously assumed public roadway through various coordination with Chester Water Authority, the adjacent property owner, along with city records calling that road vacated, I think back in 1980. That's no longer a public frontage, so we don't need waivers associated with Yorick Street at this stage. We are working with the Chester Water Authority to establish the appropriate easements associated for access between both properties, because in our conversations with the Chester Water Authority attorneys, they also don't have documentation of the ownership of Yorick Street either, so we're working through the correct access agreement with the Chester Water Authority for this property. So Yorick Street is I guess you can call it a private access road now that we're working with the ownership of the Chester Water Authority to establish the appropriate easement documentation between both parties. So the waivers that we would ask for related to improvements would be for West Front Street repaving and curbing across the other side of West Front Street, and also adding curbing on the opposite side of Curlin Street. And obviously, Second Street, I don't think we have to talk about waivers there. I mean, that's a fully paved PennDOT road and frontage there that I think is expected to be up to city standards and doesn't need improvements. So we're only speaking related to West Front Street and Curlin Street for partial waivers. The third waiver, if you'd like me to keep going, or you want to kind of stay on that one? Any questions?
I think if you go through 'em,
Okay,
and
go
then we
through
can
the rest of them.
Yeah, yep.
So number 3 was Front Street is a convoluted scenario with right-of-way. There is a established 60-foot right-of-way along West Front Street, but it also includes some of that railroad right-of-way. And we're simply asking for a waiver from dedicating it's currently a 50-foot right-of-way. The city would require a 60-foot right-of-way. But the existing railroad infrastructure doesn't wouldn't allow for any widening of West Front Street. That would be, part of the reasoning for the extra right-of-way. So we're asking for just the 50-foot right-of-way along West Front Street to remain as is, in lieu of requiring that right-of-way to be expanded to 60 feet. Number 4, this speaks again, curbing shall be provided along all new widened or extended streets, except where the applicant proves to the satisfaction of the planning commission that they will not serve a valid public purpose. So again, curbing for waiver number 4, from providing curbing on the opposite side of West Front Street, and for providing new curbing along the opposite side of Curlin Street. And then number 5 has to do with sidewalks along new widened or extended streets. I would say that we can likely remove this waiver from the request. There are sidewalks being replaced on West Front Street. York Street, I think, is no longer part of the waiver request because it's not a public right-of-way. And then on Curlin Street, the applicant will commit to putting a new sidewalk on Curlin Street as part of the project. And there's already a sidewalk that exists along West 2nd Street. So I don't think we need a waiver from number 5 any longer. And then for number 6, I guess the question would be for maybe Ron or Paul, if a waiver would be needed to do the temporary pavement strip along the frontage of West 2nd Street. If you want to bring up that photo there, Paul, again. Today you can see here you have the sidewalk and you have about a 3 to 4 foot wide pavement strip along the back of sidewalk. That pavement strip ends kind of a third through the property. And what that does, it provides a little bit more walkability around the tree pits on West 2nd Street. So we would propose to just extend that paving strip the rest of the way. I don't think we need a waiver for this section unless the pavement condition as a temporary strip would be a partial waiver or a waiver for consideration, but we would comply with extending the pavement strip along the rest of the site frontage of 2nd Street. So we may be able to strike waiver 6 as well, if you have any concerns with that.
I would recommend the waiver be enacted because the ordinance would require 5-foot width concrete sidewalk.
Yeah.
And so
We
it would
can't-
be a partial waiver I would recommend that it would be acted on as a recommendation to the city council as a partial waiver because the ordinance would require a minimum of 5 feet of concrete sidewalk. Behind the tree wells is only 2 feet, and so they're going to install 3-foot width of bituminous sidewalk, and so that's a partial waiver.
And again, the reasoning for the bituminous pavement is because of the future Greenway trail project that will be coming through here. Concrete will just be a larger expense and harder to rip out because we do expect this would all be redeveloped in the future once the Greenway comes through this right-of-way area. So the pavement is just an easier way to remove and reconstruct when the Greenway trail does come through.
Can I see the Yorick part, the Yorick side,
A photo, or do you want to see the plan, or both?
the photo, the Yorick side?
That's
That's
kind of
it.
it right there.
That may be the best photo I have. Yeah.
That's-
Yes, that's it. You can see it's definitely a gated off road that I believe everybody knows that it's now closed off. It's not a public opening, otherwise the city would have, told them to vacate the occupancy of that road.
Does the curb show? Oh, the aerial might, yeah. It's faint, but let me try it. I don't know, it's tough to see that.
No.
It's where the trucks are in that
Yes,
blue
blue.
line, but,
Yeah.
well, actually, it's right, is it right near the building, or is it to the far left?
It's on the
To the left.
left there.
Yeah.
Where those two trucks
Where
are
those
parked.
two
Yeah.
trucks are.
It's not considered a road today,
So that's
basically,
the
because it
old
was
side.
vacated.
And as part of that road, we did submit our PennDOT access permit for access onto York Street and for access to Curlin Street, and that's under review now and in conversation with Ron. As soon as we get PennDOT's review, you can see there, we're doing some minimal ADA ramp work at the entry to York Street on the left side of the plan there. And as part of that, we are in for an HOP or a PennDOT access permit for the improvements on that private access road there on York Street. And we expect our first review of the driveway permit plans in the next 2 weeks, and then from there, we'll have a better understanding of their request or requirements on York Street if anything further comes along. So I guess they are the four waivers, and I can certainly go back through them if you all have questions. In regards to Collier's review letter, outside of the waivers, everything will comply. There's no issues with any more of their comments. We're working with specifically Delcora and PennDOT as the main topics of this letter regarding sewer and storm sewer connections. And that's working through the process with Delcora. They're getting back to us with confirmation on what infrastructure we can tie into on West Front Street. There's numerous utility lines within West Front Street, and they're just doing their due diligence to make sure we have the right connection point. But we'll resolve that over the next few weeks as part of as part of the conditions of this approval.
I just want to be clear on the waiver regarding the additional sidewalk on West Front Street.
Yeah, so we're going to add, so on West Front Street, you can
Can
see
you
that.
take that picture back?
The existing one?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah,
The existing photo in that?
yes. I walk along there.
Mhm. So you,
Sometimes no, I'm sorry, West Second Street.
Second Street,
I don't
Second
walk
Street.
along Front Street.
Yeah, you can see,
West Second
right.
and Curlin.
Yep.
Go flip.
I missed it. What did I do wrong here?
right there,
No, that one and.
right there.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's Curlin,
That's Curlin,
and that's West Second,
and that's West Second.
correct.
So, I walk along there, and I'm pretty much not in favor of a partial waiver of blacktop.
Okay,
I think the entire sidewalk should be replaced and extended to the 5-foot width of the sidewalk. That's requested by the city.
Well, part of the thing that we are recommending, and maybe Ron can speak to this as well, is, let me find the image with the asphalt.
I know it's blacktop there, some.
Yeah.
This doesn't show it that great. There, that's the best image of it. And like
Yeah.
Anthony said, that a third of the property has this existing asphalt that abuts the sidewalk, and it basically widens the sidewalk. We're willing for them to just extend that asphalt, because what it would do is widen the sidewalk along that whole frontage, are you talking about Curlin or?
Both.
Okay.
Along there and Curlin.
Okay, well-
Curlin Street, you wanted sidewalk extension as well.
Which they are willing to do.
You're
Yeah.
going to do the sidewalk on Curlin, I
Yeah.
heard that.
On this one,
They're just gonna extend the blacktop strip.
and there's a reason for that, because part of this project, and all the projects that we're seeing along
East
West
Coast
Front Street
Greenway.
is the East Coast Greenway.
I sit on those too.
Well,
So,
Yeah, exactly. So, what we want to do is almost improve it as a temporary condition, because when the East Coast Greenway comes in, they're going to rip up, most likely, the curbing, the sidewalk, the trees, et cetera. As Anthony mentioned, concrete is more expensive than asphalt. We think it's an adequate temporary solution to make that sidewalk more walkable and wider. Again, we're not trying to replicate a small version of the East Coast Greenway. We're just trying to improve the sidewalk width, so when they go around the tree grates, it's wide enough, because right now it's probably 2 feet
yeah,
to the edge of the concrete, and that's really an inadequate design. Yeah. So like you had said, you walk this, it probably is accommodating that the asphalt's there, and we're just asking that as a temporary solution until the East Coast Greenway actually comes to fruition.
yeah. And on the Curlin Street side, you're gonna put a new sidewalk.
That's right, yeah.
But on the opposite side of the street, you're just gonna, where you requested the curbing on both sides of, was that Curlin Street
You can go to the plan, Paul.
as well? You're just gonna
Yeah,
do
so right,
one
along-
side.
yeah, just right along the back of those parking spaces will be a new sidewalk that goes from West Second Street to Front Street.
And basically connect with the one on West Front Street that they
Right, but the
originally
one
proposed.
across the street where you wanted the curbing, you're not gonna, you wanna.
Well,
wait.
we don't want to mess with what's there. There's existing
What's there
curbing and sidewalk on the other side of Curlin Street, and we're proposing to just leave that in place on the opposite side of the road.
Okay. I'm clear.
Anybody have any other questions? Okay, Mr. Ron? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We provided our engineering review letter dated June 27th. There are a lot of details in the 7 pages, much discussion on the waivers, and we talked about that. Our recommendations on the waivers are listed in our review letter. We're pleased that the applicant is willing to provide concrete sidewalks on Curlin. We're pleased that they're willing to mill and overlay all of Curlin Street. We would also recommend that they mill and overlay West Front Street. They would like a partial waiver from that. The issues of ownership and of have to be worked out still with their lot consolidation plan with PennDOT and the redevelopment authority. We're told that that's at the finish line. We've asked the applicant to provide us emails with their discussions to help confirm that, and they said they would. The ownership of Ehrlich Street is somewhat curious. Tax parcels, tax map indicates that the Chester Water Authority owns it, and it was vacated by the city, so that the applicant has been working with the Chester Water Authority for a access easement across that property. The tax assessor believes that the Chester Water Authority owns the old Ehrlich Street right-of-way as a fee simple lot. The applicant has hired title attorneys to help resolve that, but we're also looking for documentation that that is obtainable from the Chester Water Authority, otherwise this project really can't go. We've also been in discussion with the Chester Water Authority about the water service connections, both for domestic water service and the fire suppression system. There will be connecting to existing water mains on West Front Street. And then we also been discussing that are highlighted in our letter, the stormwater connection to the combined sewer of the Delcora system that is in West Front Street, and that a separate sanitary sewer connection for that also connects to West Front Street. Do you have the utility plan?
I don't have the utility
Okay.
plan, sorry.
So Delcora owns 2 different lines in that small area that is West Front Street. One is a 24-inch combined sanitary and storm sewer that flows to the west that they would like their stormwater system to tie into. And they also have a 10-inch sanitary sewer only line that is almost under the curb line or under the sidewalk of West Front Street that flows to the east. They'd like their sanitary sewer connection to be to that line. So it sounds that the applicant's engineer has said that they will comply with all the rest of our comments in our letter. So we're satisfied. If you have any questions about my review letter, I'd be happy to answer them.
So you're saying that you're satisfied with how they're going to tie into the two stormwater, sewer lines?
Yes, we provided direction in
Okay,
our
on how
review
to do it.
letter. The applicant's engineers previously stated a couple minutes ago that they will comply with our review letter, so we're
Okay.
satisfied. They have to do plan revisions
Right.
before it's recorded. And the plan can't be recorded till all the conditions of approval are satisfied
Yeah,
and they acquire their property that they're looking to provide.
yeah.
I have a question. The previous building, were they connected to everything before?
They did have sanitary sewer connections, but they were quite old. And
Oh,
the
and-
new building, the current building's being completely demolished.
yes.
So rarely do you want to put in a multi-million-dollar building and tie into a 100-year-old sanitary sewer connection or water connection.
Just curious
Yeah.
as if they were connected.
I think there's a biblical quote about new wine and new wineskins versus old wineskins.
But I did think I thought we were getting away with having combined ones, if necessary.
And in this case, Delcora has a combined sanitary and storm
There.
sewer that's 24-inch in diameter
Right.
that discharges to the west of the site. They would like the on-site stormwater system that has been designed to tie into that
To that.
with a doghouse manhole and a direct connection. They would like the sanitary sewer to tie into a different pipe
Independent.
that is 10 inches in diameter and flows to the east. And the applicant said they would comply.
Okay, I heard you mention earlier about a utility plan. We don't have anything or is that something that's pending?
No, we have the plan, I just didn't bring it on
Oh,
the
okay.
PowerPoint, so it is part of that plan set that was in the review.
Is it part of the plans that we got? in the-
Should be, should have been.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were in the plan set,
I did see
yeah.
stormwater layouts and
Right.
stuff in that plan,
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom. That's it. Ownership, you talked about ownership of a couple of the other parcels that's still pending.
Yeah, if you bring up the lot consolidation plan, it's a complicated plan. There's properties that they currently own fee simple now. You can see the questionable ownership with Ehrlich Street is hatched. So they're acquiring the non-right-of-way properties. There are crisscross hatches that are properties that they're acquiring from the Chester Redevelopment Authority. And there are some leftover properties that PennDOT owns along West Second Street that they're acquiring from PennDOT. And then they've confirmed the vacation of Cherry Street, and is it Ramey Street? Is that how you? Ramey Street,
Range Street.
Rain.
which were old right-of-ways. Getting PennDOT in Harrisburg to give up property, even if the local office wants to do it, it's a long, tedious process. I've had to do it with my clients as well. So I'm not surprised it may be the last thing that gets done. But they're on the way there. The Chester Redevelopment Authority believes they're almost at the finish line. So we're just looking for additional emails to confirm that. But the plan can't be recorded, they can't pull a building permit
Right.
until all that is satisfied.
That's what I raised that question because they want to consider this as a preliminary final.
Yes. So as long as they can satisfy all the conditions and get all their property acquisitions, you don't have to look at this plan again. You would, if you're ready to push it on to city council, that might be a motion for you after we go through all the waivers. If they don't get all that land, they probably don't have a project, and it would just die as an approved plan that never gets built or never gets
Right.
recorded. I don't think they could modify the plan without, and be successful without acquiring all the properties they need.
And like we said in the past too, these PennDOT sporadic parcels are all along the south side of West Second Street. This is not the only project dealing with this scenario. And again, it's cumbersome and does take time.
Okay.
I wanted to ask a question about the recommended address change. Would that have a lot to do with the parcel ownership?
I think it really has to do with the Delaware County Tax Assessor's Office. The majority of the site and the properties that they currently own have frontage on Front Street. And so that's the property address listed. But once all the properties are consolidated and the primary access to and from the site will be West Second Street, it makes sense that this property have a new address when the plan is recorded as a West Second Street. And in municipalities in Pennsylvania, the municipality and the zoning officer or the planning director for that municipality has to make that request for the project to the postmaster of the local post office. So that's something that Paul will do when it goes from a recommendation for conditional final approval, but before it gets recorded, that address change gets secured so that when the record plan for the lot consolidation and the land developments are recorded at Delaware County Courthouse, it has a new address, which is approved by the postmaster.
Right. And we work with the applicant on that. Sometimes they have a preference. Obviously, it's got to fit in a sequence. In this case, there's a few numbers on there from the old parcel. So we'll come to a conclusion. They'll put that address on the recorded plan, or before it gets recorded, and it'll be on that plan when it's recorded, and we'll let the postmaster and others, like the fire department, aware of that change.
I think that recently we've done that with Booth and
Sportsplex.
Fourth and Booth Warehouse.
Yep.
And then the second phase of that project, believe it or not, had an address on Highland, and it really hardly had any access at all on Highland. And so before the second phase of that project was recorded, we went through the process of changing it and having a 4th Street address.
Who owns the warehouse? Anyone know?
On Fourth and Booth? We do know, yes. It was the applicant that predates you just a little bit, because that application for that second phase came in a few months before you arrived. Eric Carlson. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions of me at this time?
Any more
Thank you.
questions?
No, I don't have any.
None at this time, thank you. Does anybody have any other questions for the applicant? No questions. Do you have any more questions for the applicant? Okay.
Nope.
Then I guess we need a motion.
Yeah, I think if you have no more questions, I think the would be a planning commission action to go through the waivers.
Yeah.
And we can walk you through that. You have some guidance here in front of you. And as Anthony mentioned, there may be one we skip because there's no need for it now with the sidewalk being proposed along Curlin. So what we would prefer to do is go right through and read these as motions, and then if everything's okay, we'd then go through the approval process for the entire application. So we'll go one by one for the waivers.
Oh, we gotta go back to his report?
The report, Annette?
No, the waivers.
Oh, yes, that's
Okay, so you're ready for the motion?
for the motions, exactly. Yep.
I move the planning commission recommend approval to city council, the applicant's request for a waiver from section 1305.02 of the subdivision and land development ordinance pertaining to the application being reviewed, approved as a preliminary / final land development and lot consolidation. Oh, sorry, you can't hear me? Do I have to start again?
No.
Lot consolidation project in lieu of being considered a preliminary land development plan. The planning commission finds that strict enforcement of this provision is not necessary to meet the intent of the ordinance. So, I've made that motion.
Okay, oh, we're doing one at a
Second.
time.
We're gonna do one at a
We're
time,
doing
yeah,
one at a
yeah.
time, okay. So all those in favor?
Well, I second.
Yep.
I second.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
all right, we'll have Annette take the second on that one. Yep.
All right, is moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. For number one.
For number one. So for number two, the applicant from presenting today has mentioned that they would prefer to ask for a waiver from paving West Front Street, but they will pave from curb to curb the section of Curlin Street that abuts their property. So in item A, that would need to be revised if you're in acceptance of that proposal. And you'd keep the condition B because they are willing to provide a concrete sidewalk along Curlin Street on their property frontage, but that would just be, since it wasn't on their drawings, you would keep that.
So what
item
are
in
you
there.
saying about A again?
It was delete A.
Just delete it totally?
I think A should be clarified.
It should be, instead of half, it should be complete, an entire paving of all of Curlin Street.
Correct. And then it's up to you on how you want to react to West Front Street, because the applicant has indicated that they will not pave West Front Street versus what we had recommended to having to pave at least half. If you're in acceptance of that, we would just revise that A. As Annette said, you'd say full Curlin and not West Front Street.
Okay, so you got that one.
You want half of it. That's directly in front of the building itself.
On West Front Street,
On West-
it's the south side.
South side. or
Yeah,
west
it's
side.
almost like an alley, right.
Yeah,
So we can allow the half for Front Street,
West Front
West
Street.
Front Street? Or should,
No, they're doing the sidewalk on Curlin.
right,
Exactly, yes,
their
And they're
half.
paving the entire Curlin,
correct.
but they're not doing anything on West, they want a waiver to do anything on West Front Street.
Correct.
Is that correct?
They're going to do curbing and sidewalk as they originally proposed on West Front Street. So in the end, it's still a partial waiver.
Partial waiver.
Yep.
yeah. All right, so how do we read this?
Okay,
Any
can I get a
takers?
motion for waiver two?
Partial waiver.
And I can help when you get to that
I
A
move the
section.
planning
Yep.
commission recommend approval to city council, the applicant's request for a partial waiver from section 1310.04.1.3A of the subdivision and land development ordinance pertaining to the requirement to pave and improve West Front Street, Ulrich Street, West Second Street, and Curlin Street to city standards, the requirement to provide curbing on the sides of the streets not adjacent to the property frontage, and the requirement to provide new concrete sidewalk along the property frontage of Yorick Street and Curlin Street. The Planning Commission finds that strict enforcement of this provision is not necessary to meet the intent of the ordinance. Approval is granted subject to the following conditions.
So for A, I think all we need to say is that the full width of Curlin Street will be paved.
That the full width of Curlin Street be paved,
And then B.
and that the
Yep.
plans be revised to also provide a concrete sidewalk along Curlin Street.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, so it has been moved,
I second.
okay, and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We missed something.
Did-
What did we,
Didn't we miss Front Street?
No, because,
Front Street is the back end.
and we're not making it a condition for them to pave that. They're going to do the curbing and sidewalk, just not the pavement
pavement.
improvement. Yep,
All right.
yep. So that's that's the partial waiver
Okay.
we've approved.
Okay. All right, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Now for waiver number 3.
I move the Planning Commission recommend approval of City Council the applicant's request for a waiver from Section 1310.04 of the Subdivision and Land Development Ordinance pertaining to the requirement to dedicate additional right-of-way along West Front Street to meet the 50 feet right-of-way standard for local streets. The Planning Commission finds that the strict enforcement of this provision is not necessary to meet the intent of the ordinance, and because of this current West Front Street right-of-way condition will be maintained.
That's where the railroad track, it meets the railroad track.
Exactly.
You
Yep.
can't get the 60
get
foot
any
that you want.
That's right.
Second.
Okay, it is moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now for waiver number 4.
I move the Planning Commission recommend approval to the City Council the applicant's request for a partial waiver from Section 1310.14A of the Subdivision and Land Development Ordinance pertaining to the requirement to provide new curbing along both sides of the street surrounding the project site. The Planning Commission finds that strict enforcement of this provision is not necessary to meet the intent of the ordinance, and because of the applicant is proposing to install new curb along the property's frontage.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
So I believe item 5, the waiver 5, doesn't need to be addressed
Right.
Is that correct? Okay.
because they are willing to put the sidewalk along Curlin Street.
And so now we move to waiver number 6.
Let me, before we do that, isn't
Yeah.
that a partial waiver as well?
You beat me to the punch. Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. It's a partial waiver.
Okay.
So when we get to A, we'll just address it in A.
Yep. Yeah, yep.
All right. I move that the Planning Commission recommends approval to the City Council the applicant's request for partial waiver from Section 1310.15C1 of the Subdivision and Land Development Ordinance pertaining to the requirements to widen the sidewalk and landscaping along West Second Street. The Planning Commission finds that restricts enforcement of this provision is not necessary to meet the intent of the ordinance, and because the future plan, East Coast Greenway Trail, will entail a redesign of the area from the right-of-way to the curb line along the property's entire West Second Street frontage. Additionally, the applicant proposes repairs to the existing sidewalk which will be coordinated with the city during construction. Approval is granted subject to the following conditions: that the plan be revised to indicate a 3-foot bituminous pavement for widening the sidewalk to provide additional width under the East Coast Greenway project is completed.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries.
And then your last action would be for the entire application, which is that following paragraph.
I move that the planning, losing my voice. I move the planning commission recommend approval with conditions to city council, the 742 West Front Street preliminary/final subdivision and land development application for the consolidation of 14 lots into a single lot and the construction of new 57,695 square feet warehouse with a loading area of 7,000 square feet of office area and parking on the eastern and western sides of building, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, all comments of the Collier Engineering Design Review Letter dated June 27, 2025, and the Planning and Zoning Department Review Letter dated June 27, 2025, are addressed to the satisfaction of the city's Planning and Zoning Department. The applicant coordinates the PennDOT on proposed West Second Street accesses and possible improvements. Number 3, the applicant secures equitable ownership of the required properties to be developed, specifically the Ulrich Street, am I saying the word right? Ulrich Street,
Ulrich.
right-of-way property, close parentheses, and resolution of Delcora 54-inch force main and easement. Number 4, the provision of the development, improvement, and maintenance agreement and financial security agreement have been deemed satisfactory by the city solicitor.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay.
You're
Yep.
welcome.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you to the applicant, too.
Okay.
All right. That felt like a city council meeting right there.
I'm
Like,
telling you, it did.
we're gonna have some competition with the city clerks. All right.
Okay. So now we'll move on to our director's report.
Ron, will you be heading out? I just want to, or you can.
make sure the motions on the time.
Okay, great. Yes.
Make sure Ulrich is spelled right everywhere.
Yeah.
How you pronounce it, Ulrich?
Ulrich.
Ulrich.
Oh.
I had church members that lived on that street, that's why I know.
Okay. Of course, my direct report is basically what the items are listed here. And the first one, of course, is one we've been looking at regularly, and that is the deadlines for subdivision and land development applications. We don't need to worry about 742 West Front Street now because we just recommended approval for that project. But there are 2 outstanding projects that their deadlines or 90-day period ends either on the date of our next planning commission meeting or the day after. And Ron made a smart recommendation to me that what needs to happen, although I've been in communication with these applicants and am expecting extensions, we should, as a procedure, make a couple of motions asking for denial of these applications unless the extension occurs before the 90-day period ends per the city council meeting, because the city council, again, would make that final denial. So we need to make a recommendation for them to do it. Again, this is like a precautionary thing. I am not expecting that, but I think we should have the motions here today just to address these 2 projects. So the first motion I would recommend is to deny approval for the 611 to 619 West 7th Street project unless a 90-day time period extension is granted before the next council meeting, or at least the council meeting before August 13th, which coincides with the planning commission meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Please. Here.
The motion would be to recommend to City Council denial of the 611, 619 West 7th Street subdivision land development application due to the outstanding non-compliant comments in the Collier's Engineers' most recent letter and the Planning Department's most recent letter, unless a 90-day time extension is granted by the applicant on or before July 23rd, 2025.
So noted.
Okay, so you're making a motion?
Yes.
That?
I make a motion based on that
Second.
comment.
And we have a
Recommendation.
second by Ms.
Second.
Banks. So it has been moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the second motion would be to recommend to City Council that the 3308 West 2nd Street Saldo application be denied due to lack of compliance with the Collier's Engineering, most recent Collier's Engineering and Design Review Letter and the Planning Department's most recent review letter, unless a 90-day time extension is provided on or before July 23rd, 2025.
Make a motion that we deny proposal based on the recommendations of Collier Engineering.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you for doing that. And again, this will go on the record. It may not be presented to council because we'll get those time extensions. So,
All right, so can I say something off the record? Well, I understand.
sure.
So in the near future, if we have situations like this, I recommend you coordinate with him prior to us, and so that we can have this motion already set or recommendation already set,
You're,
similar to what we did earlier on.
you're exactly right. And the reason I didn't do that is because I wasn't looking at this correctly, because that's not the deadline for the planning commission, that's the deadline for council.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
Ron reminded me that an hour before the meeting, I didn't have time to, but you're right. And ideally, what should happen too is, and this is just because Kim and I we're super busy, we do communicate with these applicants. It's not like we're just ignoring them. Didn't get a chance for like Mike to give me the one for his project, et cetera. So really, this shouldn't have to occur frequently, because we
Okay.
can take care of it beforehand.
And
So
they'll move now.
they'll move now,
I have a
exactly.
question too.
Yep.
This is after the fact. I was trying to recall the 611 through 619 area.
Well, you'd be so smart if you knew what that project was, because it never made, it got pulled before it was ever reviewed in front of you.
Okay.
You may have gotten a copy of the plans. I think they got copies of
know
the
I did.
plans.
Where is it?
It's,
I
how
mean,
do we
what is
describe this, Kim?
bounded by which streets? Which streets?
It is the very next block up from the triangle that's up the street from your church,
Yeah.
the open land on the left side, going up.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, the south
Just before
side.
you get to Curlin, before you get to Curlin.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, okay.
And what was it gonna be?
We don't know yet, but it's probably going to be reverse subdivision and housing is what we've heard. But we really have not seen
And
current
where is
plans.
this located again? 6 in Curl?
You know where Curlin is and
Yeah, on West Seventh Street.
the corner of Curlin, I've been there, like two apartment buildings, and then it's an open lot.
Oh,
It's a new building they just fixed.
Oh,
Yes. And the applicant owns that land, right? Yeah, the applicant owns that
Okay.
land, so,
okay.
yep. But that's a great question, Leola, because we just haven't really reviewed it for the
Okay.
planning commission.
Okay.
Just couldn't get it in my head where it was.
Just a few other items. One, Susan knows this because she was at the planning, or the council meeting today. The smoke shop, tobacco store zoning amendment was adopted today.
Yes.
So that's really good news. That's great. So if anything, it's one thing we've been proactive about, and enacting that will help Kim and I give some leverage on where, obviously, the location of those go.
So can you just briefly, I wasn't at the meeting, briefly, explain what the amendment was?
Yes, so I'll do my best here. We've added some new definitions that relate to the tobacco stores, smoke shops, a hookah bar, what other types of uses relate to that, like e-cigarettes and vapes and things like that. We did not have that in our city code. We did not have it in our zoning ordinance. So really, if a smoke shop came in, so imagine one like that's in Media or Brookhaven, strictly only a smoke shop. Don't think hookah bar at this point, but a smoke shop. They could present and be anywhere in our commercial districts at this point if we didn't have this zoning amendment. So thanks to Kim, she was really on this to get this amendment done as quickly as possible, even though it took a long time. We did it, and what it now will do is prevent, or it will allow these uses in certain zoning districts. So it's allowed in the MIC and the CBD with parameters. There's restrictions on the locations of these types of uses next to institutions like churches and schools,
Okay,
daycares,
gotcha,
parks.
gotcha.
There's, the applicant would have some challenges in finding a space, but we have allowed the use. So, and the MIC is very limited in the city, but it has some appropriate locations for if these uses came in.
Now, does that, any of this, is any of the new amendments grandfather, I mean, some of these people sell
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
in their current stores. So do that also prevent them from selling all those type of products?
It won't stop them from selling them, but they will now have to abide by, especially if ones come in, because we'll prevent any new ones coming in. We'll have more restrictions for them.
Right.
Other ones will be grandfathered in, but we will try to keep an eye on those because they have state regulations and other things that also comply to them, and we need to be on top of that. So,
Okay.
and we actually need to be better on top of the ones out there, and that's something that's on our agenda.
One in the city that is actually labeled as a smoke shop that changed its use from a drugstore that never came into us at all.
I know.
Changed the use or anything.
Yeah.
We couldn't do anything until we had the ordinance.
That's the stuff we're gonna
Okay.
vet.
Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh,
It's a good question though, because that always comes up about the non-conforming. What is non-conforming? And
Yeah. Okay.
I have two questions.
yep,
It's not about the smoke shop. So, we've talked about smoke shops. Gentlemen's clubs, we do
Yeah.
have some restrictions on that.
Yes.
Correct?
they're called adult
Because,
uses. Yes.
People who know I'm on the planning commission are asking me, why are they letting a gentleman's club here, there? Some, I've heard from several folks that on the corner of, what's across the street from Temple
Yeah, that's what
Baptist?
I heard.
That green building across from Temple, there's Temple Baptist here, Zion Baptist here, and on the corner was a church, but it was bought by somebody else. And I've been hearing for months now that they've gotten permission to set up this gentleman's club. So I just want to keep you aware, you know.
Neil, if you think of the address when you come back,
Well,
do you know where it is?
she-
Okay. Okay. all right.
Okay. Okay, so, because we do have restrictions as to where
We do.
the
Yep.
gentlemen's clubs can be. My second question,
Mhm.
somebody explain this to me.
By right.
Oh, do you want to talk? Yeah.
That's at the end.
Huh?
It's just we give you the by right approvals. I had our zoning officer do it because we were busy today. so
No,
I
no,
said,
no, I'm talking about that red square with the white line.
Oh, they structural,
Yeah.
those are properties, those are
Who's-
properties in the city of Chester tagged that has a structural integrity.
Oh.
Other
So,
buildings
so,
uninhabitable.
Those are the things that we had been given, oh, you put an
The
X.
fire
Right.
department, the
That the fire
fire,
department is putting out.
they
Okay,
deem them
the-
uninhabitable structurally and otherwise.
I'm asking that because I see stuff popping up
Yeah.
that they didn't get permission to do something, and they're doing things.
That
The owners.
And it has a red thing on it?
It's right across the street from me.
it has the sign. That is actually a city initiative, fire department initiative, where they're marking properties.
So we don't have to worry about.
No,
coming
no,
out
no, be-
Because, the things they're trying to change it into,
But wait,
I thought would concern us.
I agree with her. So, case in point, 6 in Holland Avenue.
6 in Highland.
That building should have been torn down years ago, that house,
Mhm.
those 3-story homes. They had those tags on. They are down there.
They're there right now before this meeting started. If
Who
this
ga-
was
no,
our
who
tax-
gave them permission to build?
And no one did.
We
Let me tell you something. I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, there is no in the world that this thing is structurally, gonna be structurally sound without having engineering plans and structural
No one
design.
saw it. Ellen and I or us, I saw it picking up.
We-
Ms.
we
Urfa,
saw it.
And
Just
they
go.
were there, right as we were
Yeah.
here, our Ellen and I and our zoning.
I can't believe it. They done tore it down, built every back basements. I'm like, who the hell gave them?
And in my neighborhood, I'm watching as they throw up these people.
Oh, Lord.
That brings up a great point, though. Like, always check in with us. If you see something, you're helping us. Be the eyes out there and tell us if you see something.
Stop the guy and ask him like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Today, this afternoon, picking her up, and they were there as we were here.
They work on weekends.
There's nobody on the weekend.
I'm telling you, if Ellen and I has one employee that
Weekend
work
workers.
weekends,
You could get
Be
a whole
rich.
I
lot.
work
City be
weekends
rich.
at the hospital.
the city will get out of debt.
I also have a spot.
Strike that from the record.
I have a spot, you know, I always talk about the log place, right? At 25th and Providence,
Yeah.
where they have all those logs. Have we done anything else with that?
There's an issue with that
Because
because
now
part of the city
they have
owns
made-
that land. Part of the redevelopment authority owns a portion of that land
Yeah.
that this man is dumping on.
Right, but they now have where they have paved a certain part of it, and they're parking trucks,
Backing it up.
backing up the trucks
Right
on
near the
that
right
spot.
near the corner. Really? I haven't
Right
seen that.
near the corner.
Oh,
The
okay.
logs are in front of it, and behind the logs, they have, and I took pictures today on my way here, so I have the pictures, so you can see them.
I've been in court with them.
Yeah.
They don't like report to us, but I know that they have been in court with license and inspections concerning the disregard of our ordinances. And, I know that the owner died and the son ended up being executor, so I think that has been what the delay has been.
I don't,
Been going on for a long
I
time.
don't understand, if you said that guy, same guy owns 611 and all that, that's doing it on Holland Avenue?
Yeah, I just found this out.
Okay, so he should not be allowed to do crap, nothing
Yep.
in the city of Chester.
That yeah, we're trying
Until-
to yeah. And again, this just
I
came to
mean,
our attention
literally,
today.
He shouldn't
So
even be able to build a birdhouse in this city.
yeah,
period.
we're on the same page.
Okay,
with
so
that.
from now on, when I stop and take pictures, I'm coming, because I got out of my car and took pictures of them guys, because I'm like, there's no way in the hell they gonna resurrect these buildings. Oh, my God. I will be emailing from now on, though.
Yeah,
One
please,
of the
please do.
classes that we had
Yep.
with the boroughs, that you
The
all-
municipal authority.
One of the questions I asked was, could they start a project without a permit or getting official documentation? And the gentleman said, no, they could be fined heavily. And that was just something, and here we see it today.
Everywhere.
Everywhere, yes.
Did I read something wrong? I want to make sure I'm reading correctly. So if I'm to start a new project, say a large building or whatever, I have to show you my architectural designs. They have to be.
It needs to go through zoning
okay.
first, and then it goes to building, license and
You
inspections for a
can't get a
building
permit without a drawing. Now,
Right.
certain, and that particular project down there,
And they can't miss it.
see that package in front of her, it should be 3 times that big.
Applies for a building permit, I have to sign off on the building permit, application now.
Yeah.
So nothing's missing us right now.
Okay.
They never applied for building or anything. I don't know if it's
I couldn't
There's a
believe
lot of
it.
houses in Highland Gardens that I don't think they ever applied for a permit.
for building
That
permits,
they had-
probably.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
they have buildings. Well, it's kind of hard for me.
Yeah, let's get it.
Right.
From now on, pictures and addresses.
I don't know what happened, so, today when I sent them, so.
Okay.
What's the next thing? Miscellaneous,
Yeah, yeah, because we could talk here all day. So just two quick things, and I mentioned this before we actually started the meeting. So we still have that draft omnibus miscellaneous changes to the zoning ordinance. We will set up a separate meeting, work with you to talk through some of the edits that you have questions about.
Which
And
zone?
try to move that along, with the zoning ordinance, correct. So that's to be, oh, well, with the planning commission and hopefully the zoning hearing board as well,
Hopefully.
right.
Not hopefully, we should be
We will,
joining.
we will,
Not
right,
hopefully, we
yes.
should all be on one accord.
I agree, I agree. And then just lastly, the next meeting is in August, and at this point, we do have one sketch plan
At
application,
which time I would have to recuse myself,
right.
abstain.
And that ends my report. Oh, okay.
Can I ask another question? I don't know Kim said, go ahead. But we discussed, what's that little store in Highland Gardens?
Oh, that, the DeMarco's.
Now, since it was found out that they fry food instead of having cold food, was anything ever done?
We're actually working on that as we speak
And they
here.
do a lot of other things in there. Like I said, since my car been down, you know, I have people from Philly come to take me to therapy, and they go there to play Delaware lotteries.
Yeah, that's another issue, yes. Not the lottery, but the,
I mean, Delaware and street. I said Delaware. Delaware and streets. I mean, the people are telling me this,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
I don't support the store.
just remember that got denied a liquor license too.
Yeah,
that
I saw
location,
that.
so,
Absolutely.
yes.
What is this for?
Oh,
That, so, yeah, you're new, back, not new, but you're returned. Whenever we do something, give them by right. So if you happen to be riding around, you see a new fence, you see a new gazebo, you see a deck, we just let you know, things that don't have to come before you, that we can approve by right and allow a zoning permit. We give you a list of them, so you can just be aware and on the same page, so nothing pops up. We want you aware of everything that is developed, that's happening, including things that are permissible and don't need, you know, to come before you. So that's what that is, from the last one that we had. Now, you might need to be updated from January, but they had it up until May. So those are May and June by right.
so it could be signs, it could be fences, like Kim is saying, yeah.
I could build a house.
Yeah, don't do
By
that.
By right.
She said, by right.
That's on here.
At the end of your
That-
report?
That is my, end of my report, yes, Chair,
Okay,
thank you.
can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much,
All right.
appreciate it.
Now 3:12.
Wow, that's good for us, that's
Yes, it is.
one of the quicker ones we've had.
We
Yeah.
had one.
Well, we only had one.
Only one item, yeah.
I have a question. Who can take us home?
Oh, I gotta go back to my office, so.
Whereabouts are you?
Holly.
I'm not going that way, but I can go that way. I'll take you home.
Isn't
Yeah,
that Alger County?
no, she's still working.
Yeah, I know that you couldn't get me.
Okay.
Either way
That's
back.
good.
I still
But then, it was good that she came to get you because she got to see what she needed to see.
I go home
It's a
and
whole lot more though.
get my
I know there's
suitcase
a whole lot
together.
Oh, my
Find
God.
out.
You should have been ready. You should have been ready. All you had to do
If
was
you
up
knew all the things,
from here.
if you
I
knew
know
all the
stuff they
things
have to
I
do.
had to do. Okay.
All the stuff that they have for you to do.
You can't. The off button? See, that's the thing over there, they need to turn them off, because it's still being recorded. So speak now and forever hold your peace. Bye, ladies.
All right, we'll see you. Take care.
I gotta go down.
No, I'm gonna take her.
She said she would take me. I figured she was still working, so.
Yes, yes, no problem.
Hello, Reverend Rita. I'm still in city planning. I'll call you when I get out.
What's the best way to do it? Huh?
I'm in city planning. I'll call you when I get out.
Right.
There's questions, again, deliberative meeting, I can answer those questions, and we did this because we've got this.
Right, right.
Just needs to be about transparency and better communication. So,
Yeah, it works.
the patience going through it all.